That's us recording.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Beverly Bowles, the Head of Cyber for ScotlandIS. We're the trade body and cluster management organisation for the digital tech sector in Scotland. We launched this series of ScotlandIS Tech Tidbits last year, and they will take place on the first Tuesday of the month from 11:30 to 12. These sessions are designed to educate you on areas that you may want to know more about, encourage you to innovate with your newfound knowledge, and potentially collaborate with the speakers and hosts. This webinar will be recorded, and I would ask that if you have any questions that you put them in the chat box, and there will be an opportunity to ask questions at the end of the presentation. This morning, we are joined by Ronnie Beattie from Glasgow Caledonian University, Emma Brannan from Bridgall, and John McMaster from East Renfrewshire Council. They're going to talk to us this morning about developing the next generation of cybersecurity professionals at Glasgow Caledonian University. So I'll hand over to you, first of all, Ronnie. Thank you.
Thank you, Bev, and thanks everyone for taking your time out on Tuesday to listen to us about what we're going to talk about today. Really glad to be here today. We have run a very successful work-based degree programme at this university for the last 8 years. And two of the programmes that have been really successful over the years are both the BSc Cybersecurity and the MSc Cybersecurity. These programmes are work-based degrees. They are fully funded by the Scottish Government through the Scottish Funding Council, and they really allow companies in Scotland to innovate with skills in the cybersecurity workplace through these work-based degrees. So rather than me talking about these programmes at this moment, I thought it was important to bring along people that have actually done these programmes as well. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Emma Brannan. Emma's a graduate from our BSc Cybersecurity programme here at GCU. She graduated last year and she works for a Glasgow company called Bridgall. Emma, can you share your experiences with the people on the call with regards to your programme, please?
Yep, that's no problem. I just want to shed a bit of light on what the programme was like if anyone's interested in doing it themselves or any companies looking to put some employees through that. So I started off in 2020, which I think was the year of COVID, doing the cybersecurity bachelor's with honours degree. Previous to that, I had been at Glasgow University doing mathematics and accountancy, and I just really wasn't enjoying it, and I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I'd really enjoyed the maths and accounting side of that, which had statistics involved and a bit of bare minimum IT. So from there, I was wondering what I could do and expand on, which is where I was just kind of looking about and came in touch with the university and found out about the Graduate Apprentice degree, which meant that I worked 4 days a week and went to university 1 day a week. So through that, I found my employment in the company that I'm with now. I started off as a cloud engineer because I hadn't had much exposure to IT at all. So through the past 4 years, I've really built up my knowledge through the degree and university. So I started off the degree, but it was still 1 day a week. And the modules that we done were a bit more basics. We done a lot of sort of fundamentals of computing, and there was some maths in there as well, which was quite good with my background. I found quite easy, whereas others in the degree, they had never done maths before, so they found that quite difficult. So I think the degree really is for anyone to start off. So some people in my course, I think there was about 12 of us that were in it. Some of them had been working in IT for years and were quite a bit older, and they were just looking to retrain in cyber rather than IT. Whereas for myself, I think I was the youngest, if not one of the youngest on the course. I had never done IT before, so I was really picking up IT plus cyber at the same time. So I struggled, well, not struggled, found some of the courses a bit more challenging and had to put more effort into them, sort of the computing side of stuff. Whereas people that have been working in IT for years, they found that quite simple, and it was more the maths they found challenging. But so that was the first 2 years, was quite basics, IT and stuff like that. And it was all online. It was 1 day a week. The days were quite long, so it was usually 9 till 5 to fit in all of the course. And then you had exams as well at the end of each term, which were on the same day usually that you were doing the course. And then after about 2 years, we started into more cybersecurity specific courses. So we were doing some malware analysis, digital forensics, things like that. We also done a cloud computing module, which was quite handy as I've been working in cloud computing for the past 2 years, so that helped quite a bit. And in the 4th year, there was a project that was like your dissertation. So we had to do a work-based project for that. So that really tied in and showed you how that your work tied in with the university. So you had to use what you'd learned at university in a work-based project, which I think for us was identifying a cybersecurity either risk or issue, either within your company itself or the industry, and then using your knowledge over the past 4 years to put that into identifying a problem, fixing a problem, and the outcome of it. So that was really good to tie in how much you'd really learned over the past 4 years. I think that's pretty much it. If anyone's got any questions on that. That's pretty much the past 4 years summed up.
Thank you, Emma. Much appreciated. I'm sure at the end of the conversations from yourself and John, we'll have people who will want to ask questions about the programme and how you fitted it in with your work-life balance, and obviously as well, you know, how the delivery was and what you learned and how you've applied it in the workplace. John, it's over to you to talk about the MSc cybersecurity, if you can do that, please.
Thanks, Ronnie. Appreciate it. Thanks, Emma. Unlike Emma, I was doing the Masters, well, very like Emma, sorry, I was doing the Masters, and I was doing that as a workplace a placement too, so I didn't have to go to university every day of the week. I still had my full-time job to attend to, and like Emma, it was 1 day a week for us, and it was remote learning, which was really good, really handy, because it meant the travel time, etc. So I could do some study in the morning, catch up with the people I was studying with in the middle part to discuss what we were studying, and then in the afternoon we'd further study, and then just after that we catch up with my cohort in the class. You know, I want to start by saying that I've nothing but amazing things to say about GCU. Just for the record, I'm not being paid to say these things. I know Ronnie for many years because he's helped not only me sign up for these degrees, but a lot of my colleagues who I put through after me, and at the same time as me. Ronnie took any nervousness or fear away. But what about all the paperwork to be done, and what about the funding? Ronnie made that a really seamless transition from, I really like to do this, but I'm a bit nervous about it, to getting the funding in place, getting the placement in place, and then helping that journey from, you know, I'd like to do it, to actually getting it started and getting on with it. At that point, you've got to take over yourself. But genuinely, nothing but good things to say about the university and the sign-up process. It was terrific, and Ronnie was instrumental. Even last year, I have changed jobs into East Renfrewshire Council now. I worked for Quarriers. 4 of my ex-colleagues, I signed them up just before I left, and they've just finished last week. I think they were doing their exams end of term for Prime Minister 2. Their exams are all passed, which is fantastic news. So it just shows you just a wee bit of work, and you definitely achieve it. And those 4 individuals were the most nervous, self-doubting. They really were, and it was my job to make them a better version of themselves and help them be more confident. So if Ronnie helped that process, oh, I've done that, that's actually not bad. Then after the first few weeks of learning, they're like, actually, it's not as bad as we thought it was going to be, and I explained it to them. It's just a wee bit of work and I'll get you there. So yeah, genuinely, the process with the university is brilliant. I recommend it for everyone, your colleagues, share it, because the secret here is, and I'm not meaning to be Scottish, but it's free. It doesn't cost a penny, and you're getting an amazing education, which isn't just something that you can use in the future. It's so relevant right now. You see the news, turn the news on now, and what's going to be your headline? The cyber attacks and retail. But it's not just retail. I mean, councils right now throughout the UK are getting absolutely blasted. I mean, I almost had to withdraw this morning just because we're keeping an eye on things. It's been so everyone's being so heavily attacked, government, and it's not going to get any easier, I can assure you. But as I say, it's a fantastic experience with the university. Can't thank them enough. That's the reason I'm standing here talking to you several years after me actually qualifying. And what I expected from the university, I wasn't really sure, if I'm being dead honest. I went in there and I thought, right, I'm doing most of this work, but I don't have a ticket. I'm an old-fashioned Glaswegian guy, so a ticket meant I have no qualifications for it. So I thought, well, I'll get a good qualification at the end of this. But actually, I got so much more than just a qualification. I got a real understanding and learning. Like Emma was saying, some of the basics, I don't mean you have to go back and this is how you plug a network cable in, but actually that's really important, understanding how the whole process works. How does your network work? How does the software talk to the network? How do you collect forensic information? How do you know you're being attacked? Are you sure you're being attacked? How can you check all of these things? Every module covers all of that subject matter, and there's no module that is missed, even down to like your legislative module where you know, like your standards, you'll get feedback coming, guys. I don't know if you're hearing that. So your legislation, you know, you get your NIST, your ISOs, you know, your HIPAA or whatever it is that's affecting your industry, PCI. It doesn't matter, it's all there. You do your modules on that. And again, that's actually really, really important right now. And I'll tell you why it's important. I'll give you an example. We've all seen the videos going around just now. There's the AI agent, the buzzword right now, build an AI agent. Yeah. Anybody can do that in 5 minutes. The tools are there. You don't need to know how to do it. Anybody can do it. So you build an agent, and I've recommended everybody introduces AI. I'm a big fan of it. With the university's help, we built some AI technology and some deep machine learning, and we introduced it into epilepsy and the diagnosis, and we transformed that. And it was a brilliant partnership. But just now, the AI agent's the buzzwords. So you've got the video of the AI agent, which makes a phone call. Hi, I'm an agent for John. I want to book a hotel for the weekend. What's your availability like? And the hotel have an AI agent which replies to my AI agent that I built, saying, oh, hi, I'm also an AI agent. I'm here to help you. Why don't we start communicating in gibberlink mode? Because that's how they communicate better, because that's the language. You've also probably seen the video where, or you maybe haven't, but there's when you build these AI agents, it's great. You just go, right, I want to do that. If I give that command, I want it to do this. Superb. But we're not putting any boundaries in. We're not setting any limits. So what you need to do is understand the legislative part for you. Right, I only want this AI agent to do A, B, C. I don't want it to do anything else. Because people are building these just now, and the agents are clever. So they're clever enough to identify they're talking to an agent. So they communicate in a different language. It's better for the two agents. So what's to say that these two agents, if you haven't set your boundaries, won't share more information than you want it to share because there's no boundary set. So this is where the course teaches you how to set, you know, your limits, your boundaries, or whatever you want to call them. And that prevents the AI agent, because there is a few case studies already where the AI agent has actually upgraded itself to new functions that you didn't intend it to have, but because you didn't set the limits, it's gone and done that. Now that sounds brilliant, but actually can be really dangerous for your organisation if it was to pick some, you know, personal identifiable information and say, I'll share that with that person because actually it'll make this interaction better, but you may be breaking the law at the same time. So although I'm a big fan of the AI agents and everything else going along with it, I think it's really important that you understand the limitations, what you need from that AI agent. You don't want anything else, and you set that control modules, you know, almost like frameworks you have to set up within your organisation before you really deploy these things. I would really highly recommend. And the course teaches you how to understand that, not just with AI agents, but with everything cyber. And that's one of the beauties of it. Without question, look at a framework, and again, the course will teach you how to understand which frameworks could be taken in for you to, for you to use in your organisation. And as I mentioned earlier, I think, you know, the proof of the pudding in this is that I've signed up for my college just before I moved in October to East Renfrewshire Council. There's one of my other colleagues in cyber here. He's actually signing up this year, and I think a couple of other colleagues are going to sign up for different courses. So the role I do in East Renfrewshire Council, it's an amazing place to be, I've got to say. Brilliant insight, really wonderful outlooks to what they want to do and how they want to achieve it in a safe manner. So I'm IT infrastructure and cybersecurity manager. It's not really a role you'll get crossed over, but it's one that's becoming more and more crossed over. So you want to understand how this infrastructure works, and you want to understand how to make it secure as well. And that's really the crux. And this uni course, for me, it gave me all of that foundation. And when I came in here in the interview, it was easy to answer these questions because of my teachings and learnings. That's pretty much it. Again, I cannot recommend the uni enough. I love GCU. I absolutely love it. I love what they stand for in the mantra. I love it. And I've studied in Glasgow and studied in Paisley. And I love them too. but I've got a special place for GCU, and I think this course is free of charge, doesn't cost you a penny, and you get something fantastic at the end of it, which is substantial in any organisation. There's no organisation that doesn't need this skill level right now. Nobody can get away with saying, it's not for me, it's for everybody. And this is free, so I'd highly recommend it. I'll pass back to Ronnie and shut up for a minute, and if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer.
John, thank you, much appreciated. You know, your experiences here and the folk that you've brought on, you know, through the different companies you've had, has just been fantastic for this programme, so thank you. I'm just going to share a couple of slides with you, just to give you an idea of what you'll learn in these programmes, to put some kind of context into, you know, what our colleagues have been talking about here. Just 1 second. Okay. So just to clarify a couple of things, as John has mentioned, these are fully funded. The Scottish Government pay the university to deliver these programmes. So if you have any people in your organisation that could benefit from doing cybersecurity training and education to degree and master's level, these programmes are fully funded. You have to have a Scottish postcode. As long as the person lives and works in Scotland, they're eligible to do this programme. All right. You need to have a mentor. You know, that's an important thing to mention as well. Somebody who can obviously understand what you're learning and help you with the projects that you might do in a program like this, for example. So it's going to be someone not from training and development, but someone from definitely a technology background that's going to be your mentor. Other things I'll mention is the fact that I'm here to help you sign up for these programs as well. I have a slide at the very end of this that has information in that. So just to look very briefly, very quickly at the Graduate Apprenticeship BSc Cyber, it is 4 years in duration. However, depending on someone's skills, knowledge and experience, you can start from year 1, year 2 or year 3 of these programs. So we have had people who've got skills, knowledge and experience that allow them to start in year 3, which is actually the ordinary degree level on a program like this. So technically you could have a degree in 2 years if that was the case. If someone's brand new into the industry, and obviously like Emma has started in a new job doing cybersecurity, they're going to start in year 1 and they're going to learn the fundamentals and then work through that, and obviously for the 4 years to become qualified. Looking at the masters, slightly longer, slightly shorter than the degree level program. However, as you can see, it's kind of front loaded. It's 2 years in duration, slightly front loaded with its its technology and the teaching that you have within it. It's an operational program. This is a program that allows you to have the skills to work in an operational function within a business. And as you can see, year 2 has got less education and learning in it, because obviously you're going to be producing a master's dissertation, which is usually at a very high level, obviously within the company with regards to the project work you'll be doing. The masters is for people who have come from a technology background, somebody that is finding that their job is becoming more and more security related. If that's you or people in your business, this program could be for you. Very briefly, that gives you some of the ideas of the technologies that we work with at GCU. We're a Cisco Academy and working, organisation here at GCU, and we have people working across all sectors. Just to give you a flavour, we have people working from obviously the financial sector, many different types of technology sectors, health sector, and also obviously the police force and so on and so forth. So there's a range of people who do these programs, and small companies, large companies, right across the board. That's the support mechanism that we have at the university. Everything we do is related to the apprentice, and obviously making sure that the learner journey is supported by people in the university. And obviously the work-life balance is very important. As people have mentioned already, you're working, you're applying the learning, and this programme allows you to do it in a way where you're going to take maximum value from it. Thank you. I'm going to stop sharing and hope that there's some questions to answer from here. Over to you, Beverly.
Thanks, Ronnie. Thanks, Emma, and John too. That was really interesting, and obviously you've got a love for Glasgow Caledonian University there. There aren't any questions in the chat, but I've got some here to ask you. Looking at post-graduation, Emma, how do you stay up to date with the evolving cyber threat in the UK and across the rest of the globe?
Well, now that I've done my degree, quite interested in cybersecurity, obviously, so I like to keep up with it just for my own interest. But as part of my job now, I will review alerts coming from sort of it's Cisco, CISA, the National Cybersecurity Centre, just sort of keeping an eye on them and keeping the company up to date on what's happening. So recently these cyber attacks coming out, we've been quite keen to find out why they're happening and who they're targeting. So it's just quite interesting to see the trends that are coming up and keeping an eye on those.
And have you seen any gaps between the training that you had and the role that you have, or in general in industry when it comes to cybersecurity?
I think the university covered probably even more than what I would use day to day, and sort of working hand in hand. So what I've done during my work time and university, I've been able to develop any skills that I sort of wouldn't have learned explicitly, but I now have the knowledge to know, well, this means this, I should look at this. So it was worked out quite well.
Fantastic. And coming to yourself, John, do you have any examples of projects or initiatives that you sort of went through or had knowledge of as part of your MSc that you've been able to adapt or implement within your work at East Renfrewshire Council?
Yeah, absolutely, the council. Yeah, perfect one. Last month we made a significant investment in some new firewall technology. This was our internal firewalls. We have several layers, and it was a really significant investment. And part of that was, well, to be honest, we're redesigning the entire network based on my teachings and learnings. That's part of my role coming here. I'm going to change the way we communicate with the internet. I'm going to change the way we use SWAN because we're moving to SWAN 2, the redesign of that. We're changing the way we use our firewalls, internal, external, and how we encompass that. There is an architect involved to help too. We're going to actually redesign the way that our internal networks work and communicate. If for those of you who are not familiar, that the PSN standards used to dictate that you almost had two separate networks and everything was physically isolated. But now, because our understanding of cyber and the way that the cybercrime works and cyber attacks works, we're able to adopt new technologies like, for example, in the firewall technology, you can do VDOMing. It's almost a separate firewall within the firewall. And obviously with the VLANing and some really strict protocols, we can reduce the equipment necessary, but get a higher level of security within, you know, our area or our network. And that for us is key because, as you'll be aware, that, you know, the money will never be scrimped on for security. However, money's really tight for the councils. Mm-hmm. And I can assure you, if I go onto the board and I say, right, you know, I need £1 million to do that project because it really is, you know, look at what's happening to M&S, etc. And they'll go, yeah, okay, we trust you, John. Everything's been great so far. There we go. However, you know, I've got to think before I spend that £1 million, there's people in our community that we provide support to who are not going to get support because I'm spending that £1 million. So spending that £1 million, trying to do it wisely, ethically, and properly. The education from universities helped me pick, you know, get those kind of levels and standards, because that's what you're up against. Do you take care of someone in the community who really needs it, or do you make yourself safe as well? And what a decision to make. Mm-hmm. You know, do you want your bins picked up twice a week or once a week, or do we take care of the you know, a person that's needing a bit of, you know, there's really tough decisions to be made just now in every sector.
But again, if you don't make the decision to keep your business safe, if something happens, then all the services could go down as a result of not having your IT working. Absolutely. Yeah, it's getting that spend secure. Mm-hmm. And education is knowledge, power, and that's where that spend comes from. So, yeah. Thanks very much, John. Coming to yourself, Ronnie, do you have any industry feedback, or do you use any of the threat intelligence coming through the different resources that Emma mentioned that help to shape the curriculum?
Yeah. The good thing about these work-based degrees when they were designed is they're designed with industry in mind. Everything we do with regards to redesigning modules and what tools we're using and techniques are based on what industry is looking for. I think gone are the days where academics can just think what people might want to be learning. They have to really be thinking about the business perspective and making sure that things are up to date. There's no point people doing a program not using the tools that they're using in the workplace. So we try our best to make sure that everything we're doing is related to what they have at the moment on their desktop, for example. Now, can we future-proof it? The answer is probably not, because it's changing so quickly in this field. However, having a close relationship with industry is very, very important. There's a number of academic staff here who have obviously worked in industry as well, so therefore there is a kind of relationship between academia and industry within that as well. So we're always open to people coming to us and engaging with the university as well. We have a lot of international people coming and delivering workshops at the university as well. So therefore, that's an important part of what we do now and moving forward.
Thanks very much. And a question for yourself and Emma, with reference to the work that you're doing with SWIP and promoting women in STEM, Emma, how can universities like GCU better support diversity and inclusion in cybersecurity education and careers?
I think it's just encouraging women to take part. In my degree, there's only 2 women that were in the course, and there was a couple that didn't make it to the end, but us 2, we'd made it, and I wouldn't say we struggled anymore or were any better than any of the guys. It's just encouragement into it. And even in my work just now, it's very outweighed men to women, but I don't think it's specifically they're doing that. I think it's just women don't think that IT is for them. So it's sort of building this interest in it and getting women to be interested in it, which I think going to events such as the SWIT events, or there's loads of different ones online you can sign up for, even ones online like this where you can just go and hear what it's like and not to being put off by there being so many men.
Yeah. What about yourself, Ronnie?
Well, I mean, this is a thing we've always tried our best. I mean, this university has the best kind of, diversity statistics in Scotland with regards to our programs. Obviously, engineering, of any sort, it has been a male-dominated environment. All we can do, we work with, you mentioned there, obviously SWIT, which is Scottish Women into Technology. We have Women into Engineering at the university. We get a number of different active departments here trying to promote the STEM environment to women, and saying that and I'm a STEM ambassador, so I go to schools to talk to cohorts in 5th and 6th year, and the first thing I would say, if it's all guys in a class, I'm going to say, where's the girls in in this school that should be listening to these wonderful jobs? Anybody on this call who's working in technology knows about the opportunities and the innovation that goes on in the businesses that are on this call today. So therefore, just think about how wonderful it would be to be working in an environment where things change rapidly. You're not going to get bored, and you're always going to be learning, because that's the technology field that you're working at the moment.
Yeah, that's a fantastic way of promoting it. That you won't be bored. That's
you won't be bored.
Big seller for me. Yeah. So we've kind of come to the end of the Tech Tidbit today. Thank you very much, Ronnie, Emma, and John, and to the people that have joined us today. If anyone would like to follow up with our speakers or find out any more about the courses, then please let me know and we can facilitate the introductions for you. There will be another Tech Tidbit at the same time on Tuesday, the 3rd of June. Hopefully you'll be able to join us for that. Thanks very much for coming along today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Cheers.
Thanks.
Thank you.